if I start telling people about hell, I might just scare them off. Where are you going to scare them off to? Hell number 2? Or are you just going to sit there and let them burn?
LA, one of the things that it's fascinating to me, you say that they're from Asia or, they're a descendant of these hybrids or from Asia. And it goes back, when you look in the Bible, it talks about when the land was separated. And you talk about the land bridge. And, so the Bible is so true on so many different levels that, we are able to see how people have migrated to the different parts of the earth.
Well, that's very true. In fact, I wrote about some of that in my book, The Cosmic Chess Match. I mean, I believe that the earth was a lot different in the days of Peleg after Noah than what we see now. I mean, completely different. And I believe that the continents may have, and I know that sounds crazy to some people, but shifted and grown apart. And that sounds, some people go, oh my gosh, that's incredible. That can never happen. Well, it depends. If you're a frank supernaturalist like I am, and you believe that God is capable of doing anything because He's God, and the proof text for that is when we read the Gospels and see what Jesus does when He's here, it's off the charts. I mean, He manipulates space, time, matter, and energy in ways that we have, we have no rhyme or reason for. When He feeds 5,000 people with a few loaves and fish, how's that possible? When He heals the leper, what was a death sentence in the ancient world, leprosy. How is that possible? How can He do that? And He doesn't even touch them, and they're instantly healed. He's healing at the cellular, molecular level. How does He walk on water? I mean, how does that work? After His resurrection, how does He come through the wall as if it's nothing? I mean, it's absolutely, the stuff He does is preposterous, which leads me to believe that where we are, first of all, nobody knows where we are. That's number one. Nobody really knows. Now, people, scientists can go, the nebula, there's a million galaxies and blah, blah, blah. That's great. But you have no idea where we really are. Nobody does. Nobody does. We're stuck on this little planet, and, depending on what your cosmology is, it revolves around the sun, whatever, a little blue ball. The flat earthers are drinking the Kool-Aid with the flat earth. I don't want to get into that, but, they're drinking the Kool-Aid there. But the bottom line is, no one knows what this is, where we are. When I'm lecturing at churches, and by the way, I'll be in Dallas for the Hear the Watchman conference the last weekend in March, and then the weekend after that we'll be in Illinois at another conference. Go to the blog, lamarzulli.wordpress.com, and scroll down, and you'll see L.A. Marzulli speaking. And, I lecture all over the United States, and one of my favorite points in a lecture would be to the folks, what is consciousness? How is it that even now, while you're listening on the radio or blog talk, how does that work? What is language, and how do we process it so quickly to where we can follow a sentence? How does that work? Without thinking about it, really. I mean, if you're trying to speak Japanese, now it's a different deal because I can't speak Japanese. Or if I'm learning Spanish, which I'm attempting to learn on some level, but it's extremely primitive because I go to Peru and I know some basics, just enough to get me in a lot of trouble. But, I really have to think about what I'm saying or what I'm hearing in Spanish, not so much in English. It's my first language. And so as we're talking now, how does sound travel? How does my little voice box create the sound? What muscle, what an amazement the tongue really is. Where did that come from? I mean, the evolutionists try to tell us that, over millions of years, somehow a tongue was formed. Well, why would the tongue even form? Why would evolution know that we need language? I mean, you see how stupid it is? If evolution is mindless, which it is, there is no creator, then why would evolution think, because it can't think, to create something as incredible as language? Why would it do that? Why wouldn't it just go, like a caveman, like we're supposed to believe? The whole thing just collapses of its own weight. So, that's a rabbit trail. But the bottom line is, we don't know where we are. And yet, when Jesus is here, He defies the laws of physics as we know them.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting you brought up consciousness and how now these transhumanists are trying to trade their consciousness to a robot or a hologram or a synthetic humanoid being or something like that. AI, whatever they want to do. Avatar, they've got so many names that they want to transfer consciousness to become gods. How does that work, as you asked,
Well, and this is the deal. I mean, we don't know where any of this, where we are or how really any of this works. And yet, the Bible tells us very, very specifically that Jesus created all things, and without him, nothing that was made was made. And that's what I'm holding to. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree totally.
He spoke everything into existence.
L.A., you're so right. When Jesus came, and the things that he dealt with, he all the elements. You said he was healing on the molecular level. Things were just there is no way to explain what transpired. No way. He walks through a wall. Some amazing things happened that only the Son of God could do.
If you like our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get all our frequent updates.